Well, good afternoon, good day, wherever you're watching or listening to us. Welcome to this special edition of One-on-One with Josie, where we bring you inspiring stories from around Sierra Leone and the world. Welcome to the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Today we have a very special episode here featuring some remarkable women who are champions of change and equality. They're joining us with our very dynamic First Lady of Sierra Leone, H.E. Dr. Fatima Maadabio. We also have today the First Lady of Burundi, H.E. Angeline Naishimaya Ndayubaha, and the First Lady of Cabo Verde. In English, it's Cape Verde, H.E. Deborah Gatisa Cavajo. Well, they're here in Sierra Leone to help us launch the We Are Equal campaign and to celebrate with us and our First Lady the passage of the Child Marriage Act of 2024. Thank you so much for coming to our beautiful, rainy, peninsular city, free town, where everything seems to be free in this country. Thank you, Your Excellencies. Madam Bio, how does it feel to host three First Ladies and representatives of two other First Ladies from across Africa? I'll start with you since you're the host, First Lady.
It is absolutely an honor when you call on your peers and they accepted your invitation to come to your country. It's not easy for African First Ladies to be able to travel around the world. We don't have the privilege like the president who can just jump in a flight and take them straight to their destination. With First Ladies, we have to hop from one airport to the other, and it's not an easy thing. So for both of them to be here, Cape Verde is just around the corner here, but it took the First Lady from Cape Verde almost 24 hours before she could get to Freetown, just because, you know, she doesn't have the luxury of just jumping in a flight and come across to her colleague. Angelique came all the way from Burundi. Also, she had to start flying overnight and arrive here yesterday. It was such a long trip. Namibia, the same thing. She had to fly from Namibia to Ethiopia to Ghana before she could get here. Burundi had to fly to Ethiopia to Ghana before she can get here. So it's a very challenging situation for First Ladies. For them to come to Sierra Leone and honor my invitation and celebrate with us this landmark achievement in banning child marriage in our country, I am humbled and I'm very grateful that they are here.
Of course, we are all humble and grateful that your colleagues could join us in Sierra Leone to celebrate celebrate this landmark bill that was passed. How did it feel traveling for something a distance that it's just 2.5 hours?
Less than
2.5 hours.
Yes,
to come all the way here. What was your motivation?
The first motivation, and first thank you for the invitation. Thank you, Fatima, for unifying us here in Freetown for a cause. Yeah, and this is the motivation. When you have a cause, when you are motivated to be part of a historic moment. This is a historic moment. The end of child marriage in Sierra Leone. It's a historic moment. So for me, it's an honor. It's an honor as a First Lady of Cabo Verde, as a counterpart of the First Lady of Sierra Leone, as a sister of Fatima, to be side by side with her in this huge, and it's an epic moment for us as a woman. Yeah, we are the voice of the changes we want to do in our country, but in the continent. So we are unified with all the voices of African First Ladies saying that we must get these girls to give their contribution, because we are 50% of the population. So none country, even the and mostly the continent, Africa continent, we can take aside 50% of the population to give the best of them, to give all the potential. So it's really, this is the motivation, to be part of the story, to be with my sister, to be with the citizens, to be with the parliamentarians that made the story. So this is the big motivation.
Hey, Angeline, quelle est la motivation? What is your motivation for coming to Sierra Leone?
D'abord, je remercie ma sœur pour l'invitation. La motivation est que nous avons un seul combat, le combat en tant que membre du comité directeur de l'OPEDAD. L'OPEDAD, c'est l'organisation des premières dames d'Afrique pour le développement. Nous avons un combat commun, le développement de nos peuples, de nos pays et surtout pour l'Afrique entière. Ma motivation, c'est que je dois soutenir ma sœur, la première dame de Sierra Leone, comme je soutiens les autres premières dames, pour exprimer la force des femmes. Aussi, je tiens à féliciter la première dame de Sierra Leone qui s'est levée et dire non au mariage pour les enfants. Moi-même, en tant que maman, ça m'a touché au cœur, même si mon agenda était surchargé, je me suis décidée de venir pour l'encourager et pour encourager toutes les premières dames d'Afrique de prendre le même chemin, de se lever et dire non au mariage précoce. Et d'ailleurs, on ne peut pas parler du développement au moment où les enfants de 10 ans peuvent être exploités comme ça. On doit préparer l'avenir de nos pays, on doit préparer l'avenir de l'Afrique et cela demande la synergie des femmes, des mamans, et nous devons travailler ensemble pour le bien-être de nos peuples. Aussi, ma motivation, c'est la joie d'être à côté du peuple Sierra Leone en tant que peuple africain. Moi aussi, j'ai vu l'importance de recevoir les invités lors des forums que j'organise chaque année. Je me sentais plus à l'aise car je me suis entourée par les sœurs. C'est pourquoi je dois soutenir les autres sœurs, comme on dit. Ce que tu veux qu'on te fait, tu le fais pour les autres. Merci.
Merci. So it's a lot of motivation. These people, first of all, are highly motivated by you, Madam First Lady, and your two sisters here have said it. They're highly motivated by, first of all, by you as a leader, leading them in all of this. But they're also motivated because they wanted to come and be around the people of Sierra Leone, because they've heard so much about this country. And the joy of just having that synergy from different countries coming together and putting things together and working together for the equality of women, for the equality of children. I think it's a big motivation to both these two ladies. But there is a campaign. First of all, there is the Organization of African First Ladies, who are pro-development, who are in favor of development on the continent. Who started this, and when was it started, and what's the motivation? What's the motive of this organization? They call it OFLAD. OFLAD, yes. Madam First Lady, let me start with you.
I think the actual first lady that started the whole OFLAD thing has passed. Is the daughter of the current first lady of Congo Kinshasa. Yeah. Yes, Congo Kinshasa. So when HIV started in Africa, and they needed African first ladies to come forward to actually start campaigning, because at this point HIV was actually ravaging Southern Africa. So they needed African first ladies to come together and advocate for people to understand what HIV is and how they can protect themselves. That is when this former first lady, she's a daughter of a president and then ended up becoming a first lady in which of the country?
Congo Brazzaville?
No, she's the daughter of the president of Congo Brazzaville, but then she was married off to another president in, I don't know, it's the Bongo,
Central African Republic.
No, where the Omar Bongo. She was married to Omar Bongo.
Central African Republic.
No, Gabon.
Oh, Gabon.
Yes. So she was the first lady of Gabon.
Right.
And then she's not just the first lady of Gabon, she is the first daughter of Congo Kinshasa. Yes, because the father and the mother are the president and the first lady of Congo Kinshasa, and she was married to Omar Bongo. When HIV started, she decided to champion the cause and become an advocate for Africa, and that's how she was able to pull together African first ladies, brought them together, and they started this slowly with the likes of Janet Kagame, the likes of the current First Lady of Cameroon. There are First Ladies who, well, their husbands has been around for very long, so they were all part of this. But then other First Ladies have come along, including our former First Lady, Sia Kuruma. She was also a member when she was the First Lady of Sierra Leone. You have other first ladies who have come and gone. So it just happened that this is our time. We're just following, that legacy. But the OFLAD has been around for over 20 years, and they have campaigned for different outbreaks that the continent needs to know about. Now it depends on the first lady of an individual country how they take the campaign that OFLAD puts forward and then propagate it in their own country.
Right.
So, but OFLAD has been around since like over 20 years ago. So it's just our time now. We collectively, all the first ladies, because before it was called OFLA, that is African First Lady for AIDS. So when we came, I don't know whether Angelique had to come at that time. My first meeting with them, we went to the African Union Summit in Niger. No, it was in Niger, and they came with the OFLA thing, and being who I am, I made it very clear that HIV/AIDS it's not the problem in my country, and that my country have its own problem. So if they want us to be part of and be committed to this whole project, they need to look at how they can accommodate people like us, because I will not be campaigning alone on a platform of HIV and AIDS. because I have rape issue in my country, I have early marriage issue in my country, I have infant and child mortality problem in my country, and these are my priority. So other first ladies also, say the same thing, and then that's when we now decided at that meeting that we were going to change the name from African First Ladies for AIDS to African First Ladies for Development. Because when it now become development, which means every one of us can actually do our project and focus on the things that matters in our country instead of imposing one thing that every first lady go to your country and be talking about HIV/AIDS. So I practically made it very clear at that meeting that it won't be me. And we had meetings, we had few negotiations, and we decided the best way forward, if they're going to have all first ladies committed to the organization, we should be given the free hand to actually campaign on issues that we feel we need to. So we now went to the African First Ladies for Development.
Hey, Monica, were you a part of that meeting, and were you Deborah, sorry. Were you a part of that meeting, and were you also campaigning in the same vein as our First Lady?
My husband became president in 2021.
Yes,
so it was after.
They're new.
Yeah. We are the new generation. But I agree with First Lady Fatima said. We must adapt. Of course, we are a big continent. So our reality from each country is different. But it's good that we have this diversity.
Yes.
Yeah, we are equal, but we don't have to be the same. Okay.
Yes,
so it's good, this diversity, but every country has its own challenge. You see, for instance, in Cabo Verde regarding the child marriage, the law was approved in '99. So we have 25 years of this experience, although the reality shows us that it's not a problem, it's not only the law. We have to work with the mentality, the behavior, with the society, a lot of advocacy, working with the girls. So I agree that as we have different reality, we have different level, our history is different. Cape Verde is a young country, as I say, we just have 50 years of independence. So we must adapt. We will have definitely for this issue, for instance, we have one voice. And this issue of child marriage is not something that is only from Africa. You have another continent with this issue, like America. You have countries from Latin America that has this reality too. So it's a global issue, and we must unify. Of course, we will have different levels, different issues, but there will be always a global causes, and this is it. Yes.
Yeah. So let me come back to the campaign itself that you have chosen this year, or
We Are Equal.
the We Are Equal campaign. It focuses on gender equality, promoting the empowerment of women across the continent here, and the priority areas, of course, First Lady, health, education, gender-based violence, fighting against gender-based violence, and of course, economic empowerment for women. Can each of you share what this campaign mean for you? Let me start with Cabo Verde again. What does this We Are Equal campaign mean for you?
Yeah, it means that we must work with our society to show that although women and men, we are biologically different, we think, as the president said yesterday, we think different, we do things different, but we have to have the same opportunity. What we are saying today is that we need this opportunity for our girls and women to show their full potential. Every place in the world, every dimension, any issue, we can bring a value dimension, the perspective of the woman in politics, in economics, in education. And you can see in COVID, the country that has women leading, they had a good performance. Why? Because it's our daily base to take care. We lead the economy of caring. We lead it. So for me, is working with the society, civil society, to show that the society will win if we give this opportunity to the ladies, to the women and girls, to show their full potential. A society that only men is leading in policy, in military, in economy, in education, in health, it won't
in
be
media.
Yeah, in media, in finance, it won't be a society with its full potential shown and proved.
Right.
So anything will be missing if women are not present.
Thank you. Hey, Angeline, qu'est-ce que ça veut dire pour vous? We are equal campaign, la campagne We are equal. Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire pour vous?
Pour moi,
Oui.
c'est comme ma sœur vient de le dire, nous sommes égaux. Cela signifie que les femmes, ces filles, doivent bénéficier les mêmes droits que les hommes. Par exemple, avant, les filles n'ont pas les mêmes avantages que les hommes. Dans quelques pays, les femmes sont stigmatisées, mais aujourd'hui, les femmes doivent bénéficier les mêmes avantages, au même pied d'égalité que les hommes, que ce soit politiquement, financièrement, les salaires, les femmes doivent bénéficier du même salaire que les hommes parce que les filles suivent les mêmes cours que les garçons. Pourquoi pas les filles ne peuvent pas entrer dans tous les secteurs du pays que les hommes. Par exemple, aujourd'hui, il y a les femmes militaires, les filles militaires, les femmes policières, les femmes militaires. Par exemple, chez nous, au Burundi, nous avons des femmes générales. Nous avons des femmes qui sont les premiers vice-présidents du Sénat, premiers vice-présidents de l'Assemblée. Nous avons des femmes ministres. Cela démontre que les femmes peuvent travailler dans tous les secteurs que les hommes.
So basically, she's saying in Burundi, it means that women, for this We Are Equal campaign, it means that women have equal access to in every sector, be it education, healthcare, economic empowerment, the military, the police. They even have women premier minister who is a woman. So it is all about a society where men and women can thrive together. That's what it means for the Burundian First Lady. And let me come now to my own First Lady, Dr. Fatima Madam.
Really, I mean, mine is simple. Before we started the We Are Equal campaign, I have launched the Hands of Our Girls campaign. So what the We Are Equal campaign is now going to do for the Hands of Our Girls campaign is to validate the Hands of Our Girls campaign. Because the Hands of Our Girl have been here for the last 6 years. We have campaigned on all the issues that we're equal are campaigning against. And we are not campaigning alone, we are implementing. We have in the last 6 years managed to change so many laws and policies on children's rights. We have managed to get the GIWI bill, where now 30% of women are in parliament. We have a little over 30% in cabinet. We have women leading institutions. We have women MDAs. We have women heading different parastatals in the country. You know, and today we have more girls in school. We can boastfully say we retain more girls. Up to 89% of girls are in school. Our girls are leading in all public examinations around the country due to the free quality education. We have more girls that are now opting for STEM courses in the last 4 years. You know, we have more girls doing courses that normally before President Bio it's impossible. When you go to Fobe College today, if you go to Jala University, if you go to Milton Magai University, you have women everywhere, girls everywhere doing so well. So, you know, the Hands of Our Girls campaign has been here empowering them with the focus to know that education is the way forward. The Hands of Our Girls has actually empower so many girls in their self-confidence, and now they can freely, you know, say that they don't have to worry about the issues that when we were in school we had to worry about. When we talk about menstruation, girls today can talk freely about their menstrual cycle. Before I became First Lady, I went to school here in Sierra Leone. We don't talk about menstruation because menstruation is not a subject that you're allowed to talk about.
It was a taboo.
Yes, but today I have managed to break that cycle, and our girls can not only talk about menstruation, but I can provide them with sanitary pad. Providing them with sanitary pad when they're in school, it's not because we have money, but you make them know what they are supposed to use, so that they understand the value of your hygiene, they understand how you can take care of your health. So when that girl grow up, automatically they know what to do. They will be able to take care of themselves. So when they get to university level, I don't have to be there to look after them anymore in terms of their menstrual hygiene, because they've gone through that with me throughout their secondary school. So now they are well enlightened, they know what to do. They're not going to reverse again and start using cloth that will give them some kind of bacteria infection that they are not able to take care of. They will have infection that they might not even have medication for. They're not going to reverse again. They're just going to be going forward because they're now used to using proper sanitary pad. They can talk about their menstrual. Are
you still delivering the sanitary pads?
It's every September, yes.
Every September,
yes, at the beginning of the year. Every school year, we go around the country, we deliver to the girls, and then the following year again we do the same.
Okay, so it's an annual basis. Is there a way to keep this continuous? Because we know the economic situation of each of these countries, of course, throughout the year. If you go one-off and do a one-off campaign, and what happens 6 months down the line? Or
the sanitary pad we give to these girls lasts them for a year. Each pack, because they have a whole pack of sanitary pad. In each pack they have 120 pieces there. I'm a woman. I know how many pads I use when I am on my menstruation. So I don't only give them pad for while they're in school, but the remaining 3 months that they are out of school, I also give them pad so that they have enough that will last them for the year.
Okay.
By the time that pad runs out, we'll have another to supply them.
Okay.
But what I cannot say is when I am not the First Lady, what's going to happen?
Sustainability.
You know, what I can guarantee is that as long as I'm here, I'll continue to do that. But then after, you know, my charity will do the little that they can do, but there's going to be another First Lady. And that First Lady will have her own program. And I pray and hope that her own program will also align with some of the things that I am doing already, so that there will be continuity. But I cannot say when I am not the First Lady, I will be the one providing sanitary pad for over 250,000 school-going girls, which I do every year.
250,000.
You know, so that I cannot say, you know, it's possible. But I'm praying that the next First Lady will love them so dearly to provide them with sanitary pad.
It's a global issue.
It's a
Yes.
global issue.
And
I think
we're
all
still
first ladies of the
working,
world should,
Yeah.
you
should
know,
advocate
we
for
are
that, just
working-
like you advocated for HIV.
We are
and
working
AIDS.
on it
Yes.
in Cabo Verde.
I mean,
so the-
when I went to the United
menstruation.
Nations, I've presented a case at the United Nations like 3 times now, informing them about providing girls with free sanitary pad, and I'm hoping that they will see this as not just a mere advocacy, because for me, if you're giving boys condoms free, and condoms, to use condom is a choice, because sex is choice. It's not a human nature. It's a choice, you know. Whilst menstruation is a nature. We women are built like that. There is nothing we can do about it. We have no power to say we are not able to see our menstruation. So this has been my case at the United Nations. If you are giving condoms, please, can you also provide sanitary pad? Let these girls have a choice. They will decide if they want to use condom or they will want to use sanitary pad. But I know the sanitary pad will be more beneficial to girls, and it will help them with their education and their learning. So that is what I am hoping, you know, we'll do. Now that we've started the We Are Equal campaign, I believe that, you know, us first ladies will sit again, because every time we have, there is a 2-year term for the a first lady from any part of Africa to be the president of OFLA. So, you know, this is Namibia's turn. Namibia has come up with the We Are Equal campaign, where we have to actually campaign for education, for health issues, and you know, then after Namibia, the presidency will now come back to West Africa. I don't know who is going to be the next president.
You may just be.
Of OFLA.
Or Deborah.
I don't know who will be, but it will come back to West Africa. And I'm hoping that these are subjects that us first ladies will take and run with, and be able to present it to our partners, you know, the people that are supporting us within our organization, so that they know that these are the things we want to pursue. Right. But when we are talking about education, I mean, if you have all the boys in school and the girls are not in school, it's not complete. If you have
50% is on.
Girls are missing out 7 days every month, 5 days every month. If you calculate that in a year, they will miss nothing less than 80 days in a year from school. If you lose, that's the whole term. If you lose 80 days from your classroom, you've missed a whole term. And that boy is in the classroom every day. Of course, they're going to be ahead of you. They're going to be more educated. They're going to be more empowered. And this is what I think us first ladies, we need to look at and make sure we keep our girls in school. We do everything humanly possible to make girls stay in school, they return in school. Whatever safety measures we have to put in place for them, we put those things in place so that the girls will not miss out of school. As they are enlightened, the moment they are exposed, they know what to do. We are not going to be babysitting them again, because they are women now. They'll be able to look after themselves.
All right.
And 10% of the girls miss the school because of the menstruation. So it's a huge issue. As Fatima said, our first lady said, it's something biological. We are not guilty about that.
No.
So if you give for
At least
free...
we're proud women today. We're sitting here and
Yes.
actually voicing it out on
Yes.
national television, talking about menstruation. That we cannot, we didn't
We
do.
did a campaign in Cabo Verde regarding these issues,
Tell me
showing
about it. How did that
the
go?
poverty menstruation and the health menstruation, because there's a lot of girls that don't go to the school because of the menstruation. They don't have the pads. And it's a taboo. It used to be a taboo. So we did this campaign to break this taboo and put the girls talking together, but the boys also, to have empathy with the girls, you see. And they are brothers, they are uncles, they are fathers, so they must be aware. When you are a father and then you have a
daughter.
A daughter, yes. And he doesn't go to school. You have to work to think about it and see and have condition that she can go to the school. And because, as Fatima said, she will be missing school. She will be missing the opportunity to compete with the boy, and the society will lose. So we have a lot of social rules that is forbidding the girls to show all their potential. Is like the menstruation as a biological thing, but is regarding the child marriage, is regarding the taking care economy. You have to take in care when you are in when you have present to give to a girl, you give it something to take care. You have you take care of the kitchen. You don't give a girl normally a present like a ball, basketball,
Yes.
football ball. No, you give it something with the kitchen and with the babies and dolls. Those, because you are preparing. Yes, you are not preparing her to be a scientist or mathematician or a sporter or soldier or politician.
Right.
So yes, it is. It's a lot of things that we must work on it to break this.
Correct. So, while you were talking, you mentioned the Child Marriage Act, which has just been passed here by our president, His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio. This is a landmark legislation. It's a landmark law which aims to end child marriage in this country. And I'm also assuming that it's been. You said it was passed in Cabo Verde in 1999. Let me come back to you, Madam Bio. Can you tell us more about the significance of this law? How it will be implemented here in Sierra Leone? You talked about the hands over girls, which this law will validate, and so many other campaigns that you yourself has embarked on. But tell us what's the significance, and how will it be implemented in Sierra Leone?
First, it will be a redemption for me as a person, because I'm not speaking from somebody else's story. When I talk about early marriage, I talk about my own story first. When you're a victim, you'll understand. When you're not a victim, you're just a campaigner. I was a victim, so I know what it means. I know how it kills your dream. I know how you feel like there's no point of living. I know when you wake up in the morning, even to go to school, you see it as waste of time. Because I was in that position.
And it didn't matter whether you were from a rich or a poor family, because I know your family.
My parents were not poor.
You were comfortable family.
They were not poor at all. They were. It's just the silly tradition that a girl has to be married early before this girl brings shame into the family.
What is shame?
For them, shame for them is a girl having sex out of wedlock. And for someone like me, who by the time I was 12, I was already very tall. You see me, you think I'm 17, 18 years old. I mean, my daughter, who is only 19, is 6'2". When she was 14, 15, she was already 5'9".
Anybody would look at her and say,
you know what I
she's
mean?
an adult.
And if she walked here before you, you just think she only just got. Just last month,
right?
That she turned 19. She's 6'2". So that's an example for me. Now, Amina, that you see me with, Amina looks like she's 10, 12. Amina is only 8 years old. She's only 8 years old. So imagine that, when you are at that age, and this man who comes to your home every day, salam alaikum, alaikum salam, and they said, this is your uncle, and then you go there, uncle, how are you? Because in our culture, your uncle should be your best friend. You run to your uncle and ask your uncle, give me money, I want to go buy sweets, uncle, blah 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 blah. And then one day your mother and your father just turn around and say to you, oh, this your uncle is your husband. And tell me, which child understand that kind of thing? This man that you were so comfortable with,
Yes.
that can come to your house, you
Sit on your
you
lap.
can wear torn clothes, you can be dirty because you are playing with your colleagues outside, your age group outside. You don't worry about anything. Now when he's coming to your house, your parent will rush outside, take you away from the other children, bring you in, wash you quick, dress you up, and make you start behaving like an adult. When this man come to the house, you're the one who have to bring the food, you have to serve him food, things that adults are supposed to do. You are now preparing you mentally to be doing these things. You know, whenever he's around, before I can run around and do whatever, but when he's around, I have to behave myself because he should see me as a home material, not as a child. And that kills your dream. That destroys everything. You know, when people talk about the war, it is the worst thing that happened in this country. But for me, it was the war that saved my life. It was the war that saved me from this nightmare. Because definitely I would not have been here today as the First Lady of Sierra Leone. And when I go to the Gambia and visit, you'll be surprised, this man is still there. He's there. And he still comes to, you would not even imagine. When I finally found myself in the UK, after 2 years, I came back to Africa to see my family. He came and said, oh, I have come for my wife. And at this point,
It's like the boogeyman.
I knew in my heart of heart that I am going to kill somebody, and very soon. So when he came and said, oh, I came for my wife, my father came back to me and said, you know, we had promised this man, we know that yes, you went to England. In fact, when I left and I went to England and seek asylum in England, you'll be surprised. My father didn't speak to me for almost more than 2 years because for him, I have disobeyed him. He never spoke to me until I came back. When I came, he thought I was now going to do his bidding. He came back and presented the same man's case to me. But from the day I arrived back from England, my father knew I was a different child now. He knew this is going to be not business as usual. When he came with this man's subject to me, I looked at my father, I said, are you asking me to marry this man, to go and live with this man? Oh, well, yeah, you were already his wife. I said, no, I was never his wife. I said, I looked at the man, I said, well, was I your wife? I said, because I don't think you understand what wife material you're looking for. I said, when you were coming to my house, I was a child. I was not an adult. I did not make that decision. I said, so the best thing you can do here today is ask my father to give you back your dowry money. And I swear as God is my living witness, when I refused and I said I would not go to that man, I said I would rather kill myself, but I would not go to that man. The man demanded for his dowry money from my family.
And your family gave it back?
Oh no, they could not. My father did not give because he felt like, okay, I have given my word to this man, so I have to honor my word. So it's not about the money anymore. And then they asked the man, at this point, I had 2 younger sisters. From my mother's own side, yes. And they told the man, oh, is it possible for you to wait? Because if she said no, she has 2 younger sisters. Yeah.
Well, now I see where your struggles with fighting for such initiatives are coming from.
They said, I have 2 younger sisters. They asked this pedophile if he's willing to wait so that my younger sisters will grow up and a little bit, and then he can marry one of them. My sisters, in fact, my last sister that time, she was only 7 years old. She just didn't even know what was going on. My immediate sister, Haja, was then, I think, about 10, and they asked the man if he's willing to wait. And he said, yes, he's willing to wait. Okay. If it's not me, he just wants to.
So at what point does a child say no to daddy? Because in our tradition, you can't look as children We can't look at adults and say, Papa, I'm not going to do it.
I think this is the time now, because the world that we live today and the kind of complications that are around in the world, the kind of human challenges that are around in the world, I don't think anyone should take your liberty away from you. When it is no, it is no. And I train my children, you know, as young as my kids are. I have Amina with me. I have 3 other adopted children with me. I train them every day. And I tell them, whenever somebody tries to do something to you or tell you to do something that you don't believe in, say no. And when you say no, mean that no, and stay and stick to that no. If it had to cost you your life, that is what you will have to do. Okay. So as young as Amina is, she is one child that you don't bring your nonsense to, because she will tell you no. And when she says no, there is nothing in this world you will do to change her.
Let's look at the implementation of this law. There are children who are in the remotest parts of this country. How is this message going to get to them and their people and their guardians and their parents, or even the chiefs, the religious leaders, whether they are imams or pastors? How is this message going to get to the remotest, hardest to reach parts of this country?
If you have been here in the last 6 years, you know that there is no part of this country that I have not been. The hands of our girls is in every household in this country today. There is no religious leader in this country today that I have not spoken to. There is no chief. In fact, the reason why I was so desperate for the law for us to have the legal framework within the legal system is the fact that the paramount chiefs have already started implementing. They've already started implementing. Every district I went to, every paramount chiefs in those districts are champions of hands of our girls. And we campaign on those pillars. Break in early marriage. So there is no place. The reason why you see Sierra Leone children are saying, I am Fatima Bio's daughter. Why would they just say that? Is it because they just want to be my daughters? No. It is the Hands of Our Girls campaign. This is to tell the men, don't come near me, I'm underage.
Madam First Lady, but I've also heard stories about the older men in some of these villages complaining that it may be that they've been involved in these dastardly actions, but some of these girls also learn some of these things in school. You have 15-year-old boys who are violating maybe 8, 9, 10, or even 15-year-old girls. What does this law say about those individuals, school children?
So now we have a law that says you cannot. We already have a law before this that says...
I say this because both of them are actually underage.
Yes.
They're all children.
That's why we'll continue our advocacy. We'll continue the advocacy. The good thing about this law, if you look at everything now, the implementation starts December 14 this year. So it is passed in Parliament, the President have, but the actual start date is December 14. And the reason why we chose December 14 is because the Hands of Our Girls was actually launched on December 14, 2018. So now, the next 6 months, it is my duty to reach out to everybody in this country.
This is the awareness creation phase.
Yeah.
And by December 14th, we kickstart the implementation. So if anybody is guilty now, does that mean that person will be arrested, or the long hands of the law will actually catch
the law is already there.
Mm-hmm.
Even before the prohibition of early marriage law, mm-hmm. there is a law that says you cannot have sex with a child.
Minor. Okay.
Yes. So there is a law already. So if you before this one starts, if you have sex with a minor, or you violate a child's rights through sexual intercourse, and you are brought to the law, we will take you to court.
And I'm still back on my legs to talk about the juvenile part of it. Young people in school versus young people in school. Young boys versus young girls.
Again, it's all like
Sexual
I said.
abuse.
It's we need to have more awareness. This is not only about me, Fatima. It is about the whole country, from the teachers, the classrooms. You know, you'll be surprised as I'm speaking to you right now. I have three teachers who are in court for raping students. 3. And you know, it's so disgraceful. These are teachers that are supposed to be guardian for these children, but they are the one having sex with these children in school. When I arrested these teachers, you know, there were so many, oh, don't say this, don't do this, don't, you know what. I said to the police, you will not bail them. Nobody will bail these people. The one teacher, he was so wicked. He was so wicked. This girl went for study class. 11-year-old kid went for study class. This man took this girl from the classroom, moved her into another room, violated this girl, and when the girl was bleeding, he took sand. He took sand and rubbed it on the girl so that the blood will stop. That is how wicked this teacher was. And they brought that to my attention. There's this other teacher who basically what he's been doing, he pick up the brightest kids in the classroom, different classroom. He has not been having sex with one. He's been having sex with every other child.
Wow.
And then what did he say? Oh, to a point, even on his birthday, all the girls he's having sex with, he will ask them to go to their parents to get him money as a present for his birthday.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. You don't even want to hear the stories.
Stories are just...
They're horrible. So that's why I'm saying this should not be my campaign alone.
Yes.
This is for every Sierra Leonean and every African.
Yes. And let me ask H.E. Deborah, for your country, how has this law been implemented? If you can just say that in a minute or so.
Yeah, as I said, law was implemented in 2000, in 1999, so 25 years ago.
Right.
The issue, the challenge we're facing now is to control the families, because you can find a girl of 14 living with a man of 30, and if nobody goes to denounce it, he continue doing that, you see. So sometimes is a daughter that in adolescence has some problem with the family. It's not a easy phase of your life.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's a way to, okay, it's a less problem, it's a less person to eat, it's a less problem.
Yeah, so let's just get rid of her.
Yeah, and he is working, he is a good man, so he can take care. So you have to continue to aware the society that this girl, she's not protected because she had to go to the school, she had a potential to show, she must go to education, she's not prepared to be a mother.
Right.
She has 14, she's not prepared. So unfortunately we still have some numbers, now the last statistics talking about more than 200 girls in this situation. And you have 20%.
What's the population of Cape Verde?
It's less than 500,000. So it's not that much. That's why I believe if you want it, if the society is aware, we can do the end of this situation.
Thank you.
But the poorness, the poorness is one of the problem, you see, because sometimes they live in a bad condition economically,
right.
and the man appears to be the salvation.
Yes.
You see, so you have to change the mentality of the girl so she can have a vision, because sometimes the fathers, the parents, they don't have a vision for the daughters. You see, it's, as Fatima said, it's like a product.
Right.
You can go. So we must work with the families to have big vision for their girls.
So this problem is not just isolated to Sierra Leone.
No.
It is all over the
It's
world.
a global. It's global. It's a global issue.
From Latin America to the Western
global
world,
issue.
of course, to
Yeah.
us here
It's a
in
global issue.
Africa.
Yeah.
I know Burundi has not yet enacted a legislation against child marriage. Burundi n'a pas passé une législation contre le mariage de l'enfant. Mais quelles sont les initiatives pour contrôler ce phénomène?
Normalement, au Burundi, le droit de personne de la famille a bien déterminé l'âge de mariage. Pour les filles, le minimum c'est 18 ans et pour les garçons, le minimum c'est 21 ans.
21 ans.
Oui.
21 years old.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Et celui qui viole cette loi, c'est pénal. C'est comme la violence basée sur le genre.
Okay.
Oui. On ne peut pas aller en dessous de 18 ans. Oui.
Okay, merci. We have so much to talk about, but we're running out
We'll
of time.
have
I've been told that we've
another
spoken for at least 1 hour. I am going to cut off this conversation, but I pray that one of these days I'll have another opportunity to meet with all of you individually and talk to you about your own personal PIF programs and projects that you're working on in your separate countries.
It can be in Cabo Verde, right?
Maybe it can
Next to
and I'll learn to speak
Portuguese.
Portuguese.
Portuguese or Creole.
Or Creole.
Creole.
But she tried. She
Yes.
tried.
Très, très bien. Et tu parles français aussi? Un peu. Moi, je me débrouille, madame. J'ai essayé. Hein? So thank you so much.
Thank you for
Madam
having
First Ladies. We have our First Lady from Sierra Leone who is hosting a huge delegation this
Yes.
week, and I'm sure that you have all had an exciting time
Yes.
here in our beloved country, a rainy, wet, green, lush
Luxury for us.
Luxury for so many First Ladies. We appreciate you. Madam First Lady, I appreciate you for bringing these wonderful women to the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation today to talk about the We Are Equal campaign, as well as the Child Marriage Act, which has just been passed in Sierra Leone. Thank you so much. I'm Josephine Kamara for the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation.